Have you ever wondered what's really going on in an examiner's head when they read your IELTS essay? What is it that separates a good score from a great one? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the whole writing assessment process. You're about to get the examiner's eye view you need to really succeed. Welcome to the IELTS Focus. And in this explainer, we are laser focused on the writing test to give you all the clarity you've been looking for. So here's our game plan. We're going to break it all down into 5 key areas. We'll start with the 2 tasks you'll actually face. Then we'll reveal the 4 secret keys to your score. After that, we'll decode what examiners are really looking for, expose the common traps that kill your score, and finally, give you a clear roadmap to success. All right, first things first, let's set the stage. The IELTS writing test isn't just one big writing task. It's actually a 2-part challenge. And the test you take really matters here. Now, everybody writes a Task 2 essay, but Task 1 is where things get different. If you're doing the academic test, you're going to be describing some kind of data, a chart or a diagram. But if you're taking the general training test, you'll be writing a letter instead. And how much time do you get for all of this? Just 60 minutes. Yep, 1 hour, that's it. It flies by, which means your time management has to be absolutely on point. But, and you really need to hear this, do not split that hour 30-30. That's a huge mistake a lot of people make. Why? Because the 2 tasks are not worth the same amount when it comes to your final score. That's right. Task 2, the essay, is worth twice as much as Task 1, literally double. So the smart way to play it is to spend about 20 minutes on Task 1 and then give a solid 40 minutes to the much more important Task 2. So how does an examiner take your essay and your letter or report and turn it into a band score? Well, it's not magic. It all comes down to 4 and only 4 assessment criteria. And look at this. It's a perfect 4-way split, 25% for each. This means your grammar can be fantastic, but if your ideas aren't organized, you're losing a huge chunk of your potential score. You have got to pay attention to all 4 of these equally. Now, these criteria have an official name. They're called the band descriptors. Think of them like a super detailed checklist for each score level, all the way from band 1 to a perfect band 9. And here's the best part. This isn't some secret document. It's totally public. All right, so you know what the 4 keys are called, but what do they actually mean when you're writing? This is the real game changer. Let's break them down, one by one. First up, task achievement or task response. This one seems basic, but it's where so many people trip up. It literally just means, did you answer the question? All of the question? If the prompt asks for your opinion and some reasons, you better give both. It's all about doing exactly what you were told. Okay, next is coherence and cohesion. The easiest way to think about this is as the skeleton of your essay. Is it organized? Does it flow logically from one point to the next? Or is it just a jumble of sentences? Using paragraphs and connecting words is absolutely key here. Number 3, lexical resource. This is just a fancy way of saying vocabulary. Now, a lot of people think this means you have to use huge, complicated words. Nope. It's about using the right words accurately and effectively. It's about showing you have a good range of vocabulary and aren't just repeating yourself. And finally, we have grammatical range and accuracy. Notice there are 2 parts to that, range and accuracy. So yeah, they're looking for how many mistakes you make, but they also want to see you use a mix of sentence types, some short and punchy, some longer and more complex. That's how you show off your skill. No, listen up, because this part is crucial. We've talked about what you should do. Now let's talk about what you absolutely should not do. There are certain mistakes that act like a brick wall for your score. You just can't get past them. Examiners call this kind of mistake a negative feature. Basically, it's a non-negotiable rule. If you break it, bam, your score for that category gets capped at a certain level, and it doesn't matter how great the rest of your writing is. Let me give you a classic example. Imagine you write this amazing essay. Your grammar is flawless, your vocabulary is impressive, but the question said discuss both views and you only wrote about one. Well, guess what? For task response, you just capped yourself at a band 5. That's it. You can't get any higher on that criterion. And there are plenty of others. You didn't use paragraphs? Bam! You're stuck at a band 5 for coherence. Doing academic task 1 and you forgot that all-important overview sentence? That's another cap at band 5 for task achievement. And if you miss just one of the required bullet points in the general training letter, you can't even get past a band 4. These are hard and fast rules. Okay, I know that might sound a little scary, but here's the flip side, and it's really good news. Now that you know the rules of the game, you can start using them to your advantage. These descriptors aren't there to trick you. They're your personal guide to a better score. Just look at this. The difference between a band 5 and a band 7 is written in black and white. A band 5 writer addresses the task only partially, but a band 7 writer addresses all parts of the task. It's not a mystery. The instructions for how to improve are sitting right there, waiting for you. And remember, you can find this document, the public version of the band descriptors, online. This is your study guide, your checklist, your absolute key to understanding exactly what the person marking your test is looking for. So let's reframe this whole thing. Stop thinking of these criteria as just a test. Start seeing them for what they really are. They are your roadmap, showing you exactly how to get to the score you want and need. So, now that you've got this inside look, I have one last question for you. Thinking about your own writing, right now, which one of those 4 scoring keys are you going to start working on first to level up your score?